I'm expecting, and I'm expecting soon and soon. Uh, what are the techniques am I going to use in breastfeeding, and after how long? Hiyo iko sawa? Mimi niko saidi.
You're pregnant with me?
Yes. Expecting soon. No, 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 no. It's
The baby's not there. So twins often come smaller than single babies. Yes, they come smaller, and they might come a little bit earlier as well. So small and early babies, their stomachs are smaller. They're going to digest their food fast. They need to eat more frequently. Okay, so until they reach like a good healthy weight, we see that they're fat. Yeah, you want to see fat growing, fat growing. Yes. You want to feed them probably more frequently than every 3 hours, maybe every 2 hours. It can be very tiring to have twins, I imagine. And you may need to get somebody's help to coordinate to keep them on the same schedule, maybe. Because if they're going opposite, then you end up waking up every 1 hour, right? So, you have tips for every coordinated twin? Anything breastfeeding?
I think having some help
Yeah.
in the house is really nice, whether it's your husband, your mother, your sister, a friend, somebody to help. Because that mother's not getting very much sleep at all. A mother with twins is nursing all day long, it seems. So anytime she has a break, somebody else to hold the babies, to rock the babies, to give her a few minutes of sleep is very important.
Change the pampers,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
Feed her.
Feed the mom, yes, prepare the food for her.
She's also now, as Christy was talking about, your breasts are going to meet the need. So if you're not nursing very much, you're not going to produce very much milk. If you're nursing like crazy, your breasts are going to make that much milk. If you're nursing twins, your body is going to make enough milk for twins. It will meet the need, but it's very important to nourish the mother. She needs to drink a lot of water. She needs to eat really well. That's very important for all mothers, but certainly for someone with two babies, is that she just has so many calories going out in her breast milk that she needs to eat. She's going to eat like a high school boy, right? She's going to eat all the time.
Yes. May even need to eat in the middle of the night as well. You want to have some snacks, some fruits or some nuts or something nearby your bedside that you can just make and eat while you in between nursing. Because eating just during the day probably isn't going to be enough. You're going to wake up, I'm starving. Starving. 3 a.m. As well as have water nearby your bed. So keep a flask or something like that, a bottle of water nearby. Because you probably want to drink maybe a minimum of 3 liters of water every 24 hours. So that means like almost constantly drinking water.
Okay, thank you so much for answering that. Another question. Is it recommendable for me to do mixed feeding if I have twin breastfeeding and my milk is not enough for them? Yeah.
So mixed feeding in itself is not inherently bad if you need to do it. However, if you're feeding your babies whenever they're hungry and you're filling their bellies up, then your breasts are likely to make enough money. Or enough money. Yes. Yes. They're gonna make. I wish they made money. You they're gonna make enough milk to feed your babies if you're constantly feeding and you're eating well and you're drinking enough water. However, some people end up very stressed, or for whatever reason with their families, like they're just not able to breastfeed well enough and maintain their own health. So in that case, yes, you can mixed feed with your baby to make up the difference. The important thing with formula feeding is that everything needs to be very, very sterile. Okay, so if you're gonna feed with a bottle, it has to be very clean. You wash with, especially with vulnerable, tiny little babies. They can get sick very easily, and it doesn't take long from them being sick for them to die, right? You want to be very careful. So, when you're cleaning the bottles, each time it needs to be sterilized. How do we sterilize here? With boiling water? Yes? Okay. So you wash nicely with soap and water, and then once they're clean, rinse well of all of the soap. then you cover it in boiling water. So boil water on the stove first, and then cover the bottle parts in a bucket. Yeah, each time, because and then when you take it out, you make sure that your hands are clean first. Wash your hands with soap and water, and then put it on a clean towel and let it air dry. Okay, let it dry somewhere where it's not going to get some other stuff dropped on it, food or whatever. It's going to get knocked on the floor. Um, and then each time you touch the bottle parts, you have to wash your hands with soap and water first before you touch it and put the bottles together. The other thing is, if you're making formula that's mixed from powder, the water itself needs to be sterile, right? So it would be boiled water again, yes? That's how we would do it here. Boiled water, you can also boil the water, mix it with the formula, and let it cool down to the temperature, body temperature. So when it's body temperature, if you drop some on the back of your hand and you don't feel it, okay? It doesn't feel hot, it doesn't feel cold. And also you need to make sure that it's well stirred, okay? Because sometimes inside the bottle, if you've heated it up, some of the milk is cold and some of it's hot. And so if you're feeding a baby, then maybe some of it feels the right temperature, but some of it, there's a spot in it that's very, very hot. So make sure that it's well stirred, shaken up. Yeah? Anything else about formula? Formula milk? It's not the ideal thing. It's tempting maybe because formula milk is expensive to maybe use a little bit less powder, but that means that the baby's going to get too much water and the baby can get sick. So you have to be very careful that you always use the exact amount of powder and the exact amount of water that should go together. Yes?
There is a time that I really am a big advocate for formula. I really have to say, I do think breastfeeding is the way to go if you can. Sometimes the mother has a difficult birth, she loses extra blood, and her milk is slow to come in, or the baby is early and they're little and they sleep a lot and they're not waking up and she's not nursing a lot in those first few days. So her milk is slow to come in. It takes about 3 days for your milk to come in. So sometimes that baby is getting sleepier and sleepier and their weight is dropping and dropping and dropping and the milk isn't in. That's the time when I'm like, we need to feed this baby something right now. And I'm a big advocate for formula at that moment. But it's a bridge. It's not a forever thing. It's just something. The baby needs to eat something. And so that's a great time to think about it. I always like moms to have a little bit of formula around just in case that happens, or I have some around just in case that happens. Because most importantly, the baby eats something. So they start to survive better. Their weight gains, they wake up, they're more interested in nursing. And once they're doing that, then you get them back on the breast. But it's okay to use that as a bridge. Let me ask you something.
Sorry. Alternately, if you have auntie, sister, neighbor, somebody nearby who also has a baby that's breastfeeding and they're established well, maybe the baby's 5 months old, so they have lots of months of milk. It's okay to share with another baby. Yeah, you can breastfeed your neighbor's baby, and your neighbor can breastfeed your if you're in a pinch. It's okay.
Umesikia? Because that's how
Matiti haina ugonjwa. Hata ukipata mtoto mwenzako amekusikia. Usikie ati amepatia mtoto wako ugonjwa. Hata alikuwa HIV positive. Haiwezi.
Yeah.
Breast is poor. Unless akuwe na wounds all over. Kama ako na hiyo spots zaidi, hizo ndio zitaleta kama ziko open, asiko natoa damu. Hiyo inamaanisha kweli anakuwa amekunywa. But breast sister yako kwa very sick, akuna mtoto muite akuja kunyonyesha mtoto kama huyo hakuna uwezo kula kwa drip, badala kurudisha kwa formula akunyonyeshe ama nini ya kingo maybe ndio hapo kwa ndio ndio hapa kama ndio baada ya yanga kwa nini basi kunyonyesha mtoto. Lakini even the friend haina shida, matiti haina ugonjwa, lakini watu wanaogopa. There was a scenario. There was a scenario here. Something happened. The mamas, when they delivered the baby, and they went home, they were staying a little later. Now the other one waited. The baby is crying. This one is young. This one ate earlier than this one. Now the other one picked the baby and breastfed. Now you know found the baby. You have to give my baby. Then she brought the baby here. Doctor, check the baby. This my baby is going to die. Then they say, why? Why you cannot breastfeed? I can't do how much you say I will breastfeed for not my baby. And the doctor just cancel. He cancel the baby. And the lady was what happened. But we told her the baby is not going to be sick. You may scare. Breast milk is your buyer. Not only that, now we go and maybe at the man want to go back there and go to waste but she just breastfeed.
Okay, mostly to add on Kahina, what she's saying, mostly kama mama alikuwa kwa care during her sense of clinics, mama amekuwa kwa dawa za ARVs, si ndio? So the transmission is 0%. Mtu hawezi pata, okay? And that the breast milk, kama mama atatransmit, ni mama hakukuwa kwa dawa. But kama mama amekuwa kwa dawa, hakuna chances za mtoto kuwa transmitted with the virus. Okay?
And to be,
But sasa tunaweza piga nduru ukipata neighbor ameweka mtoto kwa dawa.
to be
That
clear,
will be like,
I'm talking about a scenario where maybe your nipples are both bleeding and you've been trying and you can't get this baby to have enough milk and the baby is crying and crying and crying all day long and you don't know what to do and maybe you don't have the paycheck yet to buy the formula. But your neighbor is right there and she's got full breasts and lots of milk. Yeah, that's an easy solution. Okay?
Of late
Feed
we
your
have
baby,
that,
then your baby doesn't
the
starve.
milk bank from Abdulwani. They have the milk bank that's from the breast. You can be given it for free. Kama maybe mama amekufa na ameacha mtoto, you can report na utapatiwa. Yeah.
Well, that's great.
Yes. Yeah.
Usually kuna something called weight loss. You know the weight loss. There are women who have just been paid their rate to breastfeed. When you don't want to breastfeed, you take the baby, you don't breastfeeding enough, they breastfeed for you. Then the time the baby gets ready, 1 year, you can pick them. They are there. Even you can employ her. She can come in your house as a maid, breastfeeding your baby. When you're at work, she's breastfeeding. Your work is to feed her when balance there. Then for her, it's just to feed her. It is now impossible. The women are thinking, it was a guy.
Of course, first
It is
choice is to
happening.
breastfeed your own baby.
I know
Sometimes,
that
sometimes the problems that arise, you need to make a creative solution. Yeah.
like the first time mothers, it becomes so difficult for them to breastfeed. Sometimes they feel like there's pain and maybe they're feeling so weird in breastfeeding. Some they feel that, but it's normal to breastfeed your baby, and it's very healthy for your baby to get the breast milk.
Last
What
week we
happens?
had, sorry,
Sorry.
last week we had a mother who was born, or who was here. She gave birth, and her nipples were inside the breast. Okay, they're inverted nipples. I don't know if you see. Sometimes nipples can go inside instead of poke out. Yes. So you can still breastfeed with this type of nipple, but it takes some time for the baby to draw the nipple back out. And in that time, it's very, very, very painful for her. So she ended up having trouble and pain, and she was crying and yelling every each time the baby was trying to latch. So for her, like another solution might have been to like if she had a sister or somebody nearby, every once in a while to feed the baby so the baby's not starving each time we go to the breast. Yeah. Well, it's just another solution. She also had the breast pump, a manual breast pump that you just put on your breast and you can push breast milk. That can be helpful in those situations as well. Anybody know some of you have inverted nipples like that? You seen this? Maybe you guys don't show each other your breasts, so you don't know. You can tell
First time mother.
you can tell if you're inverting the hands or not. It's like when you get out of the shower and your breasts are hard. If they poke out, they're not inverted. If they're still kind of flat, they're inverted. Yeah. And if they are inverted, and it's pretty common, you can also just start to work on them before the baby comes, right? There's just, it's like there's little, they call them adhesions and stuck places that are keeping the nipple on the inside. And you can just start to kind of work on those before the baby comes, just
just move it around. You're gonna be doing what the baby's doing anyway. You're gonna give them a head start. Not so hard that it hurts. You're just trying to loosen up those binding places on the inside. So you don't have to raise your hand if you have inverted nipples, but the baby will fix it. And you can help the baby by working on it ahead of time.
Also, you can use a syringe if there's so much inverted to pull it out. That's after part. You can try it as the last trimester. You can just try with a syringe to pull the nipple out, just very slowly, softly, and after part, because the breast will be full with milk. Now you can use that syringe to pull the nipple, and it will come out very well. Okay? Yeah. Yeah.
Questions?
That is the question. Yes, question.
Swali?
Okay, maybe we can give out the advantages of breastfeeding of the breast milk.
You have to start with him or you are a man. Important. She has said it's wrong to make it on phone. Say it well, but she didn't want to say it now.
Smart, she always has the answer. Just too quiet. I thought everyone could come up with one thing.
Yes.
That's a good-
They know. I've taught
They
them
know.
about that.
We're
They
just up here
know.
jabbering away. Let's let you guys teach.
Immunity, very good.
Yes, yes.
If you don't know, say fast.
That,
That's it again.
baby is strong, yes.
Strong, yes. Definitely. Health.
Healthy, yes. So, yeah, don't be fast.
Baby pass out in your lap.
Do not fast.